As the Jake travels the length of Jane's ship, he never suspects he had carried more dread in his heart than he does in this moment. The burden of the call he just received weighs so heavily upon him that it's a struggle to propel himself each step forward. He wishes that someone else has gotten the news, but there's nothing that can be done. He has to be there for his wife, even if he knows saying what he needs to say will be hard for both of them. The door to the ship's bridge slides open to permit him entry when he approaches. Jane is standing by the navigational stations, engaged in some sort of confabulation of doubtlessly critical importance with her eternal shadow, Gamzee Makara. Jake's already miserable mood drops further at the sight of him. No matter how long this arrangement carries on, it never seems to get easier to his stomach. Jane is dressed up to the nines in her signature blazing red power suit, her freshly polished designer pumps glistening in the varied lights of the Crocker Cop ship command controls. The full entourage of the Crocker and Column is fast en route to a business conference that Jane insists is the utmost importance to the impending negotiation of an array paramilitary contracts with the government. And she would be the first to tell you that looking your best is one of the most critical parts of the operation. She doesn't immediately acknowledge Jake's presence when he approaches. He has to conspicuously clear his throat before Jane turns her attention away from Gamzee, and even only she dignifies Jake's appearance with a fleeting glance. Do you need something? Well, I have some terrible news, I'm afraid. What is it, Jake? I'm rather occupied at the moment. I'm awfully sorry to bother you, but it's very important, dear. Is this something matter with Travis? No. You might want to come with me to our quarters for this one. As I said, I'm a bit busy right now. Well, I just thought maybe it's best if you sit down for this one, my dear. My delicate honey bunches of oats, the jolly old captain of my church, my lovely wife, who I love so much. Jane's face twists in annoyance. She is quite a bit shorter than Jake now, but the way she looks down on him makes her seem like she towers 10 feet above him. My goodness, Jake, what do you want? Can't you see I'm right in the middle of something? Just spit it out already. The whole bridge goes quiet at Jane's sudden outburst. Everyone is stopped in the midst of their task and stare nervously at the alteration. The only other sound that penetrates the silence is Gamzee noiselessly slurping on the rubble nipple of his baby bottle. Jake swallows like he's in a cartoon. It's a big, loud gulp. A sound that instantly ratcheted up Jane's annoyance, like most of Jake's actions. It seems to these days. Well, you see, I guess I'll come right out and say it then. I got news that your father has passed, Jane. I'm so sorry. At first, words don't quite register. Jane expected this, like all interactions with Jake, to be a meaningless waste of her time. Initially, she gives a dismissive nod, like she's taken in some trivial piece of information, and then the weight of the statement strikes her, sending a jolt of shock through her chest. It passes quickly, though. She'd almost forgotten. As an unfortunate event, but it's no matter. I'll simply revive him, and then make sure he's assigned to security detail. Have his body brought here as quickly as possible. I'm afraid that won't be possible, honey. There's no body for you to revive at all. Jane's eyes widen in disbelief. What happened? It's word from the Secret Service that it was one of Karkat's assassins. The target was the human president. Your father, that is. He jumped in the way and took the shot. This president's safe. Your dad saved his life. I don't understand. What happened to his body? The Karkat's rebels abduct him? No. The shot he took was from a barrel of a rocket launcher. I'm afraid the assault blew him straight to bits. There's hardly anything left. What? Luckily, the president was barely harmed, as your old man took the full brunt. As far as I know, the only harm to him was having his full luxurious mustache burned clean off his face. It's a frightening tragedy. Jake's gaze falls to the floor. Jane's hand clutches at the front of her suit in an unsteady fish. Please tell me you're joking. Jake, please tell me this is a prank. I'm afraid not, Jane. I'm so sorry. Jane whips around, tears in her eyes. The whole bridge is holding its breath. She feels very eerie eye on her then. She feels every eye on her then. The pressure to hold it together. She can't show weakness now. She's come so far. Jane sniffles and wipes her eyes with the back of her hand. She won't cry, but she can be angry instead. Ugh, that fool! I can't believe he would do this. How could he do this to me? Janie, the human president could be anyone. My dad can't be anyone but him. Jake isn't sure this is the right or smart thing to do, but he chances it. He steps forward to place a comforting hand on Jane's shoulder. When she doesn't immediately tear herself away, he tentatively and slowly, like he's approaching a wounded animal, pulls her into a hug. Jane is too dazed to protest. She limply stares past Jake's, eyes on focus. I don't know. Shh. Everything's going to be okay. God, I can't believe he... Oh, but of course I can. He's always been so infuriatingly good. God, how stupid. This is so stupid. I'm so stupid. How could I put him in such a dangerous position? Chief or staff? Anyone could have done that job. Why did I tell him to? My own father, Shh, Janie, you did nothing wrong. Nothing wrong at all. You never have. I love you, Jane. We all do. Isn't that right, Gamsey? Yeah, Meg. Yeah, Meg. We all got plenty of love up in this for the big and juicy JC. Gamgee turns to the bridge crew and gests magnificently with his arms. Rufflets of milk are running down his chin. Honk if you love this big breasted bisnash. Whoop whoop. A petrified pail falls across the bridge as the crew try to figure out what they're supposed to take seriously or not. The comms officers share a look with the inner ear. The conning officer looks like she's about to lose her pants. And then they turn to the most pitiable stooge of them all for answers. Jake's eyebrows shoot up to his airline and he nods urgently over Jane's shoulder to indicate yes, they should definitely do it. At once the bridge crew give an anonymous honk. Jane sniffs and pulls away out of Jake's embrace. She turns back to the bridge and takes a forward step, stumbling slightly in her heels, but she catches her balance, fixes her posture, and slips back on a stony mask. All right, Jake, get the president on the phone. It's clear to me now that it's a past time for the military to strike, and I'll be giving that man a real piece of my mind until an appropriate counterattack in motion. Obviously, the government's attempts to be gracious with the trolling have been naive and foolish. These rats cannot be negotiated with. They cannot swayed by reason or appeal to peace and civilization. The only thing they want, the only thing that they have ever wanted since this ongoing inception of the disgusting venomous species is bloodshed. And if that's what they truly desire, we far be it from us to deny them. Not another word. Are you sure this isn't a No! The time to act is now. They will pay for what they've done, every last freaking one of them. I have enough. This is the end of the line. Jane is blazing with fury. She marches to the center bridge. All of you, return to your stations. We are changing orders. We will not be going directly to meet with the president, and I will not rest until he gives a command to crush this rebellion and destroy any chance that they might ever resist again. The bridge crew doesn't even think to defy Jane's order. They simply return to their stations, dutiful. The navigators adjusted the ship's destination coordinates. The comms officer opens a line with the government's seat of command. Only one man in the room is brave enough to take a stand. Hey, do you think this might be a bit xenophobic? Jane spins on her heel like a whirlwind. Her face twisted into a hideous snarl. She runs on Gamsey with all she can muster. Xenophobic? I am not xenophobic. I'm just saying that most bodies of babes, what you're laying down, sounding wicked and genocidal. What are you talking about? I am not and never have been a xenophobe. Yeah, but listen, killing all the trolls, that would be bad, you feel me? I'm a troll member. Maybe you should take him in and chill a bit. I'll mint Cocoa Chip. Honk. Shut up! You insects just assassinated my father. You're cute when you're mad. And then Gamzee seals his fate. He reaches out his finger and boops Jane right on the nose. Honk. Jake audibly gasps at the sight, but Jane does not have any sort of violent outburst of anger. Instead, she goes completely icy silent. Gamzee smiles vacantly down at Jane, unaware of his misstep. When Jane next speaks, it is in a controlled, steady voice. Security, escort this troll off my ship. Now. The security personnel aboards the ship and does not hesitate to follow the command. They descend on Gamzee in a swarm, grabbing him by his arms. The baby ball tumbles out of his grasp, busting it open when it falls. The remaining milk spills out, pooling in the regressed lighting of the floor. Whoa, hold up. You can't just throw me off the board, my milky mommy. Oh, I can. Just watch me. The security officer began to pull Gamzee away, but he makes one final desperate play. Wait, just hear me out. What? If you throw me out, and I'll be like all lost, babe. You know I'd be needing you. What? Do you think you're appealing me with your disgusting little addiction is going to sway me? That's the funniest joke you ever told, clown. It's not about the milk, boo. It's about you. Jane stops. What? I need you. Are you saying that you... I've gone through and told you about my prostub with the wicked green substance. I've gone and made so much progress, finding a new healthy ways to cope with the voices and redeem myself. Now you've been more of a help to me than anyone, more than anything. You know, with this nightmare, I can't sleep without holding onto it. Jane sneers. She has no idea what she thought for a moment that he might have meant anything else. I am so... forget it. You are despicable. You can't just go and cut a brother off. Let's all think through this reasonably and stuff. I'll do anything. Jane's eyes rack up and down Gamzee's body, like she's carefully considering her response. Her face is expressionless as she answers, "Begone, clown." Jane turns and waves the security away. The uninformed men drag Gamzee from the bridge. The sound of honks reverberate hauntingly through the halls as the wretched jester is removed from his seat of power at last. In spite of everything, Jake can't help but be relieved. With Gamzee finally disposed of, Jane is interrogated with the strength of her own conviction. She spins on her heel and confidently strides to the captain's chair. She engages her interface, sits down, and assumes her seat of command. The time for mercy is long past. Carcat Van Tanis must die.